Over the past few months, there have been several economic analyses on the performance of Guyana's economy. On Guyanese Diaspora News, we reported that the economy was on the verge of collapse. Subsequently, we reported that the economy in 2020 will grow by over 50% due to the inflow of activities from the oil sector. What does this all mean? Many Guyanese in Guyana and here in the diaspora were a bit confused. Was the economy collapsing or was it growing? Here we attempt to explain the real economy versus the GDP, which is the gross domestic product, which looks at the overall health of the economy, attaching a dollar value to all goods and services produced over a specific period of time. The real economy is the cash flow, which is a consumption spending in the economy, which we reported on was drying up, with many people being unable to pay their loans. Many businesses were employing only a percentage of their staff. The country was importing more than it's exporting, among other unsound economic policies. Please see the link in the caption above for that full story. Here now, we explain to you now the real economy versus the GDP.
You see, there's a big myth that everybody's talking about GDP. Oh, Guyana is going to have 53% GDP growth. But GDP is not GNI. GNI is the wealth of the Guyanese man, the average Guyanese man.
Which is the real economy.
Which is the real economy. And that's the problem, because let me give you an example. So one of the oil companies brought in 700 pipes into the country. Each one of them was about $500,000 each. No taxes were paid on it. Those pipelines came, they dropped at a wharf. A crane operator lifted from one ship, put it onto another ship. So how many? Let's say 10 people got a day job out of that operation. The wharf was paid some fees, so that businessman got some money. Those pipes came into Guyana, no taxes, no duties, no nothing. So no money for Guyana yet, except for the businessman getting some money for utilizing his wharf, and about 10 people getting stevedore jobs and crane operator to move it from one ship to the other. And those pipes went right back out to the oil wells in the sea, 100 miles from Guyana there. Mm-hmm. Now, that is 35 million US dollars in GDP activity. How much of it is GNI? Less than $500,000 US. So the challenge is, so while $35 million shows up on the Ministry of Finance book saying, oh, we have $35 million in economic activities, it is really nothing in the grand scheme of things. Unless those pipelines would have created some sustainable jobs, then it means nothing.
Sasenarine Singh is a financial consultant and former lecturer at Montgomery College in Maryland, USA. He has just been appointed the daunting task of acting chief executive officer of GUYSUCO, where his major role would be examining the complexities of the sugar industry, making assessments and putting forward proposals and projections to revive and revitalize one of Guyana's most vital sectors. Here he gives us some insight into his wealth of knowledge to advance the country using resources from the oil sector.
Do not be over-reliant on the oil industry. It's a bonus. The mentality we have to always keep, it's a bonus. Guyana has to get to its core. Like every human being, we have to know what is our core competence. We got to know what we're good at. And once we identify what we're good at, we leverage it.
And what are we good at? Singh, who is rightfully placed at GUYSUCO, believes that the country should capitalize on what it has always been good at: agriculture.
We're great. This country is great at agriculture. We can do great things with agriculture. So what we need to do is leverage those oil cash, any bonuses out of it, into transforming the base level agriculture sector that we have into a value-added sector where we're producing products for the dinner tables or the supermarket shelves of the Caribbean and North America and South America. That is what so this is what this oil money really needs to do. Lift us up, to take us into the dinner tables or onto the dinner tables or into the supermarkets of the Western Hemisphere and even Europe.
But how do we really take this a step further on a larger scale so that Guyana can realize its potential of being the breadbasket of the Caribbean and even wider afield looking to markets in the USA?
We need to move every sector of the agriculture production that we feel that we're good at into a plantation scale. So the US government had done a study many years ago to identify what we're really great at. And they came up with 4 Ps and 4 Cs as some products that we can add to rice and sugar. Pineapple, peppers, pumpkins. I can't remember the other P. And then there were citrus and some other things. When we do these things, we have to do it on a plantation scale, right? Oh, plantains was the fourth of the P. So I don't know if you know this. There are places on the Essequibo River that has plantains that bigger than anything I've ever seen in my life. And we can produce these products on a grand scale, but not just produce it and process it so that it is table ready. People in the real world, they don't have time to peel plantains and cut it and do all these things. They want to pick a pack, drop it in a pot, or even microwave it for 5 minutes and it's ready. So we have to find a technique to be able to get these things into such a form so that when the busy house husbands and housewives of the world are ready for it, they can get it, and it's made in Guyana, it's tasty, it's competitively priced, and it's properly packaged.
Singh outlined a plan for Guyana to make this possible.
And we can do it. The problem is we've never invested enough in our marketing of our products. We've never invested enough in our technology. We've never invested enough in collaborating with the great thinkers of the world. We don't need to reinvent anything. Israel is great at this stuff. Brazil is great at this stuff. India is great at this stuff. We're friends with all of these 3 countries. All we have to do is leverage those relationships. And once we leverage those relationships, those people can come join us and do great things. We have the land, we have the water, we have the people. We can do this. The point is it has to be done in a very structured manner, in a very business-like manner. You know, growing things is not a hobby, it's a business. It has to be done with a clearly defined market in mind. And you have to, when you sell to Costco, Costco doesn't buy 10 pounds of plantains. They buy 10 million pounds of plantains. You have to be able to produce that. Mm-hmm. And that is what is missing in Guyana. Mm-hmm. We do not have that grand mind as yet. We're not there yet. And hopefully, with a forward thinker like Dr. Irfan Ali in power now, this country will get up to that speed of being ready to sell to Costco, Walmart, and all the hotels of the Caribbean.
For the Guyanese Diaspora News, I'm Jennifer Jabbar.